Cousin Jared, the A-plus play of the day here on Wednesday just walked into the field and took a dump on it. But thankfully, otherwise it looked pretty good. Pretty good day. Overall up here in baseball. We got 2 of the 3 on show picks.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that means we're only doing totals from now on, right?
Well, we were 6-0 on Monday and Tuesday, so we're 8-1 this week here on show. We also told you yesterday the Phillies as a B grade pick was a pretty solid investment. We were looking for a better price, and lo and behold, in the morning we got that better price, locked that in as an A grade. So our patience was rewarded. If you play the B grades, we had first 5 minus half a run plus odds as a B grade on the Phillies as well. The Astros turned into an A grade play. If you paid attention on show. Even if you're not a member of Dub Club, you should have got this user. If you paid attention on show, we told you what the A-grade threshold was. That price got there this morning. We told you it was a 50-50 game, and for some reason, the Rangers took a bunch of money, and we were getting some big plus odds in the Astros. That cashed easy. Again, other than the play of the day and the lone total that we missed on show yesterday, another good day and a good week so far.
Yeah, very, very, very solid all around. Kind of what we've come to, at least what I've come to expect from this baseball season.
I mean, it is what it is. I don't know why the slide's on that. We gotta start over. Here we go. Today's slate. I don't know why we were previewing people. I feel like we are now to the point where I am just like running ragged at this point. Like all of the work on the football models and the updates and trying to get that set up and the formatting to display and the results. Like I told you, the one thing y'all can always guarantee with me is I'm always trying to make things better, trying to get y'all more information and whatnot. And I spend a lot of time doing that. But all the shows now, we just got through recording the last college football show here for the week where we went through every other game. And so if you want that, Dub Club is the place to be. We talked for an hour and a half. It was a lot of fun, but I mean, I'm drained at this point. I'm just like, baseball.
Yeah, that means we've covered 3.5 hours worth of college football this week.
We have covered 3.5 hours of college football this weekend. Actually, there's one more football show coming. I don't even know what we're going to talk about on it. I think it might be just me. Maybe Jason and Joe. I don't know. We're having a right before the weekend like recap of football show. Again, we got football content coming all week, baseball content all week, and all sorts of extra stuff over on Dub Club. Again, remember, if you're looking for some free Dub Club, I tweeted this out. DM me on Twitter, email me, pickswiththeprofessor@gmail.com. Because we just passed 1 million views, decided to give out a free month subscription to Dub Club. Get in there. You'll like what you see. You'll be making money. You'll be having a good time with us on Discord. You can sign up for the NFL Survivor Pool and win some free time there as well. The top 5 people take home prizes. Right now we got 30-ish people, I think, in. I don't know how many more will join, but I mean, you got a chance to win there. So sign up, contact me. I can get you started as a free trial, and I think you'll like what you see. So Dub Club's got all the goodies over there for you as we are celebrating another milestone that we've hit here. Cousin Jared, anything else to discuss that I forgot before we start talking about these games?
No, I mean, we thought we were doing something good by going through the slides beforehand and trying to catch any errors that were there, and we just, forgot.
And you did. You caught an error, so yeah, kudos. Thank you for catching the error for us.
I wasn't smart enough to take it back to the right slide to start the show. So yeah,
it happens. It's a little zig and zag. We're all a little. 6 baseball games on Thursday. NFL has the spotlight at night, so of course there are no day games. I don't know. Life is weird. Tigers and Yankees. Cousin Jerry, look, I'm going to give you the quickest breakdown ever on this game. You have to like something. You either like the under 8.5 or you like the Tigers. There's no other way around it. You have to like Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound for the Tigers. The Yankees team, of course, been hitting a little bit better as of late, but Rodriguez has been solid all season. 3.11 ERA. FIP supports that. XFIP a tiny bit higher, but he's a very good pitcher. And if you think that Carlos Rodon is going to regain his form and shut down the Tigers offense is good, if that's your thought, you have to like the under 8.5. If you think Rodon's been terrible, you have to like the Tigers at the plus odds. It's kind of one or the other. I don't really see how you get away from that, depending on your thoughts on Carlos Rodon. 5.7 ERA in his 42 innings this season, and the underlying metrics actually say it should be worse. He's been terrible this year. He's had all sorts of injuries. I'm sure he'll figure it out. He's one of the best pitchers in the game when he's healthy. He just hasn't been right all season long. So again, your view on him, I think, dictates how you feel about this. Otherwise, this is two relatively depressing teams. The Yankees have the better bats, and they predict better against the lefty. So the Yankees should be favored here. But we got a little bit of value here at plus 151 on the Tigers. Plus 153 gets you to a B grade. So we're almost to a B grade. Cousin Jared, we always talk about it. We're going to take big favorites. We're not afraid to take dogs. It's all about the value and the scaling, and the benefit of the scaling where it adds up to a certain amount is that we're not overexposing ourselves on bigger favorites or bigger dogs. The Tigers are less than 50-50 to win this game, but in the long run, plus 150 is a smart play. Again, we are not going to be right or wrong on this pick. Something will happen. Well, how we are graded are the probabilities accurate. And that's what's made us money all season, is by saying this is a smart pick. I don't know what's going to happen in one game, but in the long run, if we're taking plus 150s in the right spot, it'll work out for us. That's kind of what this is. It's not that I'm saying the Tigers will win. I'm just saying plus 150 is worth a shot because they've got the better starting pitcher. And because I think you leaned to, I like fading Rodon over the under. I think that's kind of where you were heading with this game, right?
Yeah, it's a combination of Fade and Rodon, who I mean clearly just hasn't been right all season. I mean, he didn't pitch until June or something like that because of the latch strain, and so
came back and then hurt again.
Yeah, and so that's part of it. But the other thing is, like, Eduardo Rodriguez, like, aside from deciding he didn't want to play in the playoffs with the Dodgers, been an excellent pitcher this season. He's very good.
That was wild, by the way.
Yeah. That was insane. So yeah, that was the combination for me. Being able to back Rodriguez and getting the fade Rodon is what made this more appealing to me than the total.
If you look at Rodon and his last 3 starts and you say he's pitched better, 6 innings, 1 run, 4 2/3, 2 runs, 5 innings, 2 runs. Let me caution you, viewer, his FIP in those games, 559, 497, 546. His xFIP, 620, 432, 685.
Yikes.
He's had a against the Astros last start, a 154 batting average on balls in play. 2 starts against the Nationals, left every single runner on base. That sort of thing, it absolutely happens. In the long run, that's not going to be sustainable. So he's been getting lucky to be mediocre. And I don't know, whatever's going on with him, I still think is bothering him. So if you disagree with that and you think Rodon has figured it out, then I think you have to like the under. So I think there's a good play on this game. Just however you think about Rodon, the model is very skeptical and really drawing him back. I mean, the model had him as a top 10 pitcher in baseball, top 5 at one point last year. So, I mean, for him to be 91, I think tells you everything you need to know about how we feel about Rodon. Maybe he'll be healthy next year. We'd like to see baseball players healthy, but he just doesn't see it.
Yep.
Speaking of, we like to see baseball players healthy. Adam Wainwright, healthy, but past his prime, unfortunately. 8.10 ERA, FIP and xFIP in the upper 5s. But oh my goodness, is there a more scary thought for a guy like Adam Wainwright than facing this Braves offense? Is there a bigger pitcher discrepancy that you have ever seen than this between Adam Wainwright and Max Fried, who might be the best pitcher in baseball? Not going to win the Cy Young because he missed that time, but might be the best pitcher in baseball. 2.52 ERA and underlying metrics absolutely supported. I love Max Fried. This Cardinals offense, not terrible, but my goodness, everything else is a just massive mismatch. And the game's in Atlanta to boot.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so 4 standard deviations difference between these starting pitchers. I'm not a statistician. Isn't that all of the standard deviations? Like,
well, no, there's an infinite number of them in a continuous distribution. So, I mean, come on.
Okay, but 4 standard deviations. Yes. Isn't that like, I don't know, like the 96th percentile on one end and like the 4th percentile on the other end or something like that?
And it doesn't work quite that simple because there's different weights depending on where you traverse the scale. But where Max Fried is being better than 2 standard deviations is probably about the 2.4th percentile, 2.3rd percentile. Adam Wainwright's probably at about the 97th or whatever the top. I mean, you're talking about like it's so close to the edges. I mean, this is just a bonkers mismatch for the starting pitcher. And here's my only issue with this pick. I think it's a strong pick. We're on the Braves run line here. We were going to go -1, but I mean the minus is just insane. And if we're right about this, and And again, right or wrong, I shouldn't even say that because I'm trying to get us to think about this from a probability standpoint. Adam Wainwright might throw the game of his life, right? That if we think about infinite worlds, right, infinite universes, like there's a world where that happens. There's not a lot of them, right? From a probability standpoint. We're most likely in a world where it's going to be that Wainwright gets rocked. If he gets rocked, I mean, the Braves are going to win this by a lot. My only fear with this game is like everybody and their mom is on Braves -1.5, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's that easy, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but to your point, everybody may be doing it, but the statistics back it up in that literally this is the biggest starting pitching mismatch I've ever seen in my life.
I can't remember.
As long as you've been doing side.
Yeah. I can't remember seeing one this big. There might be one. I can't remember. I mean, this is bonkers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's all.
Yeah. The only reason. That's it. Yeah. The only reason the number isn't bigger on this game is because the Cardinals offense, is not terrible, but up against it with Max Fried. I mean, this is just a big mismatch. There's really nothing else to say. Braves win 80% of the time, according to the model. I'll talk about some run line metrics for you. It's not on screen, but I'll let you know here. Again, this is what you get every day on Dub Club for every single game, along with the reverse numbers, first 5 numbers, everything. Braves run line, according to Sideline, hits 65% of the time, and it should be -189. So -163 is the A grade price. I guess my thought on this is, again, we always talk about prices and value. This is great value at -150. There is a point where this isn't great value. And so that's kind of, I guess, my point about this, because yes, everyone knows the Braves are likely to win this game and everyone's going to be betting the Braves. So the key to remember, -150, great value. -170, I'd still play it. It's a B grade. -180, -190. Now you're talking about you've lost a lot of your value on it. And so that's, I kind of think the main thing to be thinking about is Braves -1.5 is not a smart play at any price. -150 is still underpriced, according to the model, which takes us to the pitcher prop of the day, Adam Wainwright, under 2.5 strikeouts. He's been 50-50 on this. We're going to lay -160. The reason why is, even though he's been 50-50 on this, you see there on the right side, that's his innings pitched. And you can see some of those dips corresponding with low strikeout games, the higher innings with the higher strikeout games. I mean, he's going to strike out more guys when he goes deeper. That's been the trend, at least for the back half of his starts this season. If there's ever a time when he's going to have one of those 3, 1.2, 3.1, 3.0, 1.0, isn't it now against the Braves? Yep. Isn't this the time when that's going to happen?
Yep.
So that's why we're going under 2.5, even though it's juiced, because he's under this half the time, but half the time he's not playing this Braves offense. That's one of those 60% of the time it works every time kind of things, right? But the point being, this Braves offense is maybe the best offense in baseball. If not, it's for sure top 3, right? I mean, it's insanely good. Yep. And so just a really high chance he has one of those 2-3 inning starts. And the other thing to point out is you see right there, Atlanta batting. This is why you got to love Outlier.bet /professor free 7-day trial. Got to love that. Look at that. Atlanta batting versus right-handed pitchers. What they provide. You look, it's color coded for you. For the season, ranked, was that 6th, last 30 days, ranked 3rd. Mm-hmm. They don't strike out a lot. Yep. You got a team that doesn't strike out a lot, that runs pitchers. I mean, this is the and again, that doesn't mean there's no locks in gambling, right? This doesn't mean it's going to hit. It just means you got a good chance to win it because he gets run early. You got a good chance to win it because even if he pitches some innings, the Braves aren't really a high strikeout team. Wainwright doesn't really have great strikeout stuff anymore. There's just a lot of ways you can win this. So it is some steep odds, but I really like some good FKs. Cousin Jared, any other thoughts about this game, this prop, anything?
No, I mean, just aside from we've covered this multiple times this season, but just the fact that it's sad that Wainwright has come to this. But I saw that we were laying -160 to go under 2.5 Ks, and I was like, I guess the Braves, this sounds about right.
Yeah. Last note on this game, because it does affect the pitcher, does affect the run line play, right? The total in this game is 10.5. Model projects exactly 10.5. Model thinks it's priced spot on. You're going to have a slightly warm day in Atlanta, slight breeze blowing out, 4% bump to the expected number of runs based off the weather. So not an overly hot day, but on the warmer side. And again, with the Cardinals offense being decent and the Braves offense against Wainwright, the Braves are expected to score a lot of runs. So it's not like it's a cold night, like the wind's going to be blowing in, that sort of thing. So all the reason in the world, we're expecting a lot of runs from the Braves. Here's a couple of ways we think that you can profit off that. Again, Outlier.bet /professor free 7-day trial. Check them out if you're doing props, NFL, NCAA, game stuff, all sorts of good stuff over there. Taking us home here, 7:40 p.m. Eastern, Diamondbacks and the Cubs. Cubs should be favored. They have the better starting pitcher, but this is an interesting one when you break it down. The offenses are rounding error the same. The bullpens are probably rounding error the same. The Diamondbacks have more depth. We talked about the Cubs don't have as much depth. Their top guys are a little better, but maybe the Diamondbacks relievers are a little bit better. I mean, it's pretty rounding error on the relievers as well. The only difference in this game is the starters. Ryan Nelson isn't very good. Everyone knows that. Gets that 112 grade. Javier Assad has pitched really well in his 7 starts this season and out of the bullpen as well for a total of 87 innings. Here's the thing. Everyone knows Ryan Nelson is not good. 5.47 ERA, underlying metrics say it should be in the low fives. I'm not sure people realize that Javier Assad probably isn't as good as that 2.69 ERA. FIP at 420, xFIP at 440. So you have his underlying metrics suggest he's the better pitcher, but it's not by much. And so the Cubs should be favored, absolutely. But a little bit of value here on the Diamondbacks, plus 169. It's just like the Tigers. It's a C+ pick. It is just like the Tigers, 2 cents away from a B grade. Plus 71, 171 would get to the B grade. Plus 186 would get it to the A grade. 38% chance of winning. A plus 169 pick offers reasonable value, worth a flyer. What do you think, Cousin Jared?
I caught my eye when Sideline isn't back in the Cubs. I feel like Sideline's been on the Cubs a lot lately, and so the fact that it has
fading the Diamondbacks a little bit too. Yeah,
and so the fact that they got the Diamondbacks here gives it that little bit of extra oomph that I need to feel confident backing the Diamondbacks. To your point, Ryan Nelson, not the best, but Assad, I think is destined to have a little bit of regression to the mean. I think he's been overperforming a little bit here. And who knows? Right now, the weather is weather looks like it's, as of right now, saying
chilly.
That it's not going to be chilly, not going to be a crazy high scoring game. Which
a front from the last 2 days, we've had hot wind blowing out. Last couple of days, cold front come through, low 60s, wind blowing in.
Okay, so yeah, that's something I might be watching in the morning to see where this total opens up and to potentially see if there's any value after some of the crazy scoring that we've had in Chicago the past couple of days. If this number might be high and get some value on the under.
Yeah, model projects 8.6. I definitely go under 9.5. Might talk me into going under 9. You have to be concerned about the quality of these starting pitchers. You have to be concerned about the bullpens. The Cubs, again, don't have a lot of depth. The Diamondbacks relievers have been very up and down, and they grade out at league average. But you kind of have to remember, like, league average isn't that great because the top teams have good relievers and the bottom teams have, like, just completely given up. So average now is still kind of meh. And that's kind of what the Diamondbacks have been. They've been kind of meh reliever-wise. So that's the concern about the under. But weather-wise, it's going to be a harder night to get the ball out of here. Right now, the wind's blowing in/across. That's going to be the key difference. If the wind is blowing across, this total probably projects at 9. If the wind is blowing in, it probably projects closer to 8. It is probably a good close to half run difference because we're talking about 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. So strong winds at Wrigley really matter more than any other ballpark in the country. So that's something to check in the morning update, see where the total falls, if there's any total value. But again, a little bit of value here, taking a chance on the Diamondbacks. Again, if you want run line stuff, reverse run line stuff, all that information provided on Dub Club. Cousin Jared, any other thoughts on this game?
Nope.
All right, that's our show. There's your recap. Any other thoughts on anything?
It's NFL kicking off this weekend. Make sure, actually, probably as you're watching this, kicking off today. So make sure you go watch the NFL content with Professor and Jake. And they'll break it all down for you and make sure that you're ready to go for this first weekend of NFL action.
Yeah, rare week where we don't have Thursday college football, but we do, because Jared, you and I covered the Friday game in one of the 2 college football episodes. We got football content everywhere. If that's your thing, if that's not your thing, then don't watch it. But otherwise, hopefully some good football content out there for you. Again, Dub Club is the place to be. All sorts of goodies, that survivor pool, free trials. If you're looking for that, email pickswiththeprofessor@gmail.com or send me a direct message on Twitter. Those DMs are open. So let us know if you want to get in the Double Club. I've never done this before, but again, celebrating hitting that milestone. So we got free giveaways, all sorts of goodies. I don't know. I'm tired. This is where I meant to say this at the start of the show. I'm going to edit the intro video. I'm going to make it a little shorter and put some of it at the back end. And so that way at the back end, it slides. Mainly because in almost 600 episodes now, I have yet to misspeak at the phrase. And it's just a miracle. It's a miracle. It feels like the probability that it would have happened by now. And so mainly I just want to make that change so that way I can keep the perfect record. So this is the type of night that I would botch that. All right. Well, that'll take us out then. Thank you for watching this episode of Picks with the Professor. Don't forget to subscribe so you can ensure all the sports betting content provided on this channel. Jump right into your feed. Be back again tomorrow with more baseball betting content. You get all sorts of football content all week. But as always, best of luck. And remember, you can eat your betting money, but please don't bet your eating money.